That's me. You're probably wondering how I got into this situation. You see, Marvel dropped the 6v6 hero shooter last month, and it's really fun. It's got fantastic art style, good music, and 35 playable characters with more on the way. But I don't care about any of these guys. I care about Spider-Man. However, the life of a Spidey main isn't an easy one. You'll have to get used to spectating other players while waiting for all your bones to be welded back together so that you can respawn. At least you get to swing across the map back to the battlefield. The traversal is absolutely vital in a game like this. It's not the most physics-based swinging system in the world, but it's not really supposed to be either. Getting from place to place quickly is very easy as Spidey, which I very much like, since I usually like my characters to be very mobile in these kinds of games. Spider-Man's gameplay revolves around zipping across the map and dealing damage to one player at a time. You gotta get in, do your little wombo combos, and get out. Our boy has extremely low health for some reason, which means you need to be constantly jumping around. Other players may think you're helping an episode, but that's okay. At least you're not 6 feet under like Marvel vs. Capcom Spider-Man, who I'm wearing the mask of if you couldn't tell. Marvel Rivals has a few objectives you'll be striving for throughout the match, like escorting an objective, or my favorite, capturing the mission area. This objective sees you protecting a highlighted area from the opposing team, staying within the square to claim it for your team. If the other team stays in the area too long, then you'll lose it and it won't be yours anymore. So you've gotta keep them out. I actually went 2 pages over my script instead of Spidey's got a couple of moves that help him do that, like his uppercut. The uppercut is a good amount of damage, but the best tool in his arsenal are his web shooters. Shooting enemies is a small amount of damage, but once they're hit, they have now been tagged by a spider tracer. When an enemy is tagged, you do way more damage to them. So you should make sure you have a spider tracer on them at all times. And if they're tagged, your web pull attack automatically locks onto them. This attack is your best bet for starting a combo, followed by an uppercut. If your enemy isn't tagged, this attack pulls them towards you, but it can help to get opposing players out of the mission area, or distract them from the objective. A lot of people say you should never go against tanks as Spider-Man, but I don't find that true at all. You can obliterate them if you have the skill for it. I usually don't find myself having too much trouble with characters like Venom or Groot. I've yet to snag an MVP, but day by day I'm getting better at the game. However, you definitely gotta be okay with dying. A lot. Ask any Spidey main and they'll tell you this life isn't an easy one. They'll tell you horror stories about getting destroyed by Scarlet Witch, which you've really gotta look out for. This game is really fun with friends too, although mine always have to put up with me insta-locking Spider-Man every round. Sorry guys. You know, I've gone too long without complaining about something. This feels unhealthy. Spider-Man's suit selection in this game is kind of weird. First we've got his default look, which has become one of my favorites recently. I've talked about it in more depth and detail in one of my most recent videos if you want to hear my full thoughts on it. But I think it's hella good. It's got bright colors, good lenses, and nice logos. And honestly, that's enough for me. Is it over-designed? Absolutely. But ever since I started this whole YouTube thing, I've had to complain about so many bad suits that I almost feel kind of desensitized to this whole thing. Like, yeah, there's too many lines and paneling and piping and whatever, but like, at the end of the day, man, the colors are making my neurons fire. Unfortunately, I'm not entirely safe from serotonin deficiency, as we also have the Iron Spider in this game, for whatever reason. I do have to admit, the design looks way better in this game's art style than it does in live action, but like, it's still not a good design, so what are you gonna do? There's some things I like about it, but not enough for me to fork over $20. I would very much rather, like, the upgraded suit, or maybe the costume that like everybody likes that is very lacking in representation. You also have Chasm for some reason. Why is he here? Do they have any idea how many people hate Chasm? Anyway, he's just a webless Spider-Man recolor, so that's kind of not very impressive to me. The colors are nice. That's kind of it. There's also a PS5 exclusive Kane recolor, which is definitely my favorite skin so far. Also free. I absolutely love Kane's design, so seeing that translated to a more classic looking Spider-Man makes for a really refreshing design. I like it a lot. He's not going to stay my favorite for very long though, since they're adding the redesigned advanced suit for Spider-Man 2, which is one of the best Spider-Man redesigns by the way. Hopefully it looks peak in their art style, and I have a feeling it will. But if they don't make it cost $1 million like the Iron Spider, because I actually want to buy this one. We've also got the Bagman Beyond suit, which is a neat reference with an extremely uncool, over-designed hoodie. I didn't even think that was possible. As for the costumes I would like to see added, there are the no-brainers like the black suit and Ben Reilly's Scarlet Spider, but I would also like some more out-there picks, like the Beyond suit. I would love for them to just add a classic suit, but they said that they didn't want to because they think it would look silly or something. Did they forget that this game is based off of comic book characters? But anyway, that's kind of all I really have to say about this game. It's really fun, and I want to get better at it. There's definitely a learning curve involved if you're a Spider-Man main such as myself, but don't let that discourage you. The game is still fun, especially with friends, And it's also free, so if you have the hardware necessary to run it, I recommend picking it up. It's definitely going to be a good time. I definitely want to stream this game at some point, maybe even play a few matches with some viewers live. This won't be the last time you hear me talk about this game. And as more and more content comes out, I'll have even more to say about it. But until then, hit your ult on that subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. I've recently launched a channel membership which will give you access to things such as member-only streams and a full look at what's finished so far for the new episode of my Spider-Man show. We stream every Friday around here, so if you want to be a part of live redesigns or just a chill stream, I recommend making like Sonic Frontiers and popping in. Ask anyone in the live chat, they'll tell you it's a good time. That's kind of all I have to say. Take care, and as always, have a super blessed day. Goodbye.